everyone. This is Tammy Plunkett, and my pronouns are she, her. That is the best way to introduce yourself using your personal pronouns. I often have my pronouns on my email signature and on my name identification when I do a Zoom call with other people. Even though I do present as female and I have a feminine gender expression, if you watched that video, I do still use my personal pronouns when I introduce myself. And the reason why is because I am an ally to the transgender community and I want other people to know that. So today we are going to unpack what are personal pronouns. Close up there in the first things that you do with your transgender child. And pronouns are he, him, she, her, they, them. And there are some other ones that you really don't hear very often, and that is Z here or Z zir. And those are just alternative non-binary or gender non-conforming pronouns. So let's unpack things here a little bit in terms of when to use which pronoun. And the rule of thumb, the big magical rule, is to ask. It is not insulting in 2021 and beyond to ask someone what their pronouns are. So in the past, we used to say preferred pronouns, but that implies choice. So we don't use the word preferred anymore. We use personal pronouns or gender pronouns. So if a way to avoid asking is to introduce yourself with your pronouns right away. And then it's kind of like asking somebody, hey, how are you? They automatically say, I'm fine, how are you? Like, my pronouns are she, hers. What are yours? So we sort of automatically fall into that, okay, I'll tell you my pronouns because you gave me yours. Or you can just say, I don't want to be rude or be assuming your pronouns. Which pronouns should I use for you? And then they'll say, I'm a she, her. Or, thank you so much for being considerate and asking. My pronouns are they, them. Now, let's jump into the they, them pronoun. I'm a writer. I understand the grammar police out there. I am an Oxford comma to the death type of person. I understand grammar. And they, them, although we all want to think that it is a plural pronoun, it is very often used in a singular way for one person. And if the same way that if we don't know, and I use this example a lot, if I am driving my car and I see a bike come by and sideswipe my car and keep on going, I will say that bike just hit my car and they rode off. They didn't even stop to tell me to get my phone number for insurance or anything. They just rode off. How rude of them. And I will use them because I don't know if it was a he or a her because they had their helmet on. Good for them. They had their helmet on. They were dressed all in black. The bike was all in black. How am I supposed to know if they are a girl or a boy? So I use they, them pronouns. We also use one one has to know what the weather is going to be outside so that they can choose their coat. What level of coat they need before they go outside in the cold. So one is often followed by they, them, which is a singular pronoun. So we've got the English class out of the way. We absolutely can use they and them for an individual who uses those pronouns. Those pronouns are very often used in the non-binary world, in the gender non-conforming world. It doesn't mean gender neutral because a non-binary person can still present and express themselves in a feminine or masculine way. They just do not fit their identity within the binary, hence non-binary. So a non-binary person will use they, them pronouns. Admittedly, I am not 20 years old. And it is very difficult for someone who has been on the planet as long as I have, and as long as some of our parents have been, to start calling individuals they, them, when we have only ever called people he or she in the past. It is a hard habit to form, but it is an easy, it's hard, but it's easy. It's easy when you actually choose to do it and you practice. So very often it's just a matter of practicing with your friends at the coffee shop when we get to go and do that again. When you're texting, you can even add, so if somebody's name is, say, I'm trying to think of a gender neutral name. If someone's name is Jordan, you could have their name written as Jordan, and then in parentheses, they, them, so that you know on your contact list that their name is, that they use the pronouns they, them, so that every time that you talk to them or refer to them, you use that pronoun. There are tips and tricks that you can do, and just practice, 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 and then you'll get it. You will get it. I mean, I always laugh at how quickly we get a change in pronouns when we're walking our dog and we say, oh, isn't he cute? What breed is he? And the person corrects you and said, she is a beagle, a bichon frisé, whatever. And then you automatically change to, oh, she's such a cute dog. How old is she? So if we can do that for little puppy dogs that are running around, we can do that for our children who desperately are asking us to affirm them by using their pronoun. So when we are faced with complicated pronouns like they, them, or sie, their, or we are faced with having called, like I did, my child she, her for 11 years before he came out as transgender, and I'm like, okay, now I have to call him he, him. It was hard, and I made mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. What you do when you make a mistake is not make it about you. You don't want to force the person who is going through the transition, who is trying to assert their identity into the world and struggling to make a place for who they are in the world, to have to then console you because you feel bad for making a mistake. You're putting your problems on the child. So don't do that. You want to make a mistake, say, I am very sorry, and correct it immediately. If you call someone and you're using the wrong pronoun, instead of saying, oh, can you call her down for dinner? Oh, I'm sorry. Can you call him down for dinner? That's as easy as it is. That's all you have to do. I'm sorry, and then correct it. You don't have to go into, oh, I had such a long day. I'm so sorry. I just keep making these mistakes over and over again. And I'm so sorry. I'm such a horrible mom. How do you still love me? I'm so sorry. Like, don't do that. Do not make it into this ultra drama about you. Just correct it and move on. And that's about all I have to say about pronouns. It's a pretty, I mean, it's for 2 little letters for he and 3 little letters for she. It ends up costing us so much stress and such a weight on our shoulders. But honestly, it's once you catch the hang of it, like I never make a mistake with my son ever now, because I can't imagine him being anything but a boy. But I know I made a ton of mistakes in the beginning. But it just took practice, and just practice and practice, and change the language within your own head. And I even refer to him as he, him before transition. And that's something that you're going to want to discuss with your child. I do use she, her pronouns when I talk about my son, when I am writing and for an audience who needs to understand that he was assigned female at birth, and to tell stories in that gender. But I have his permission to do that. And I do not do it on a regular basis throughout our regular everyday life. He is only ever he, him, and male presenting, and his gender expression is male, which makes it easy for me as well to just have Mitchell in my brain as a boy. So I wish you all the luck with everyone that you meet from now on, that you are going to be presenting yourself with your pronouns, and that you'll be asking people for their pronouns. And if your child has transitioned or disclosed that they are transgender, then you can tell them that you're going to do your very best, and that if you make a mistake, you'll correct it as soon as you possibly can, and that you will practice, practice, practice with your friends in your mind. Write it down and you will get it. I promise you, you'll get it and it'll work. That's it. Have a great week and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.